Good morning, everyone. It's 10 a.m. I'd like to welcome everyone to the September 16th, 2019 Commission meeting of the Limestone County Commission. I will call to order. Now, at the end of this meeting, we will have an executive session. It was not announced Wednesday, but it's dealing with a personnel issue, so just wanted to get that out of the way. Pam, do we have any, Kay, do we have any public comment?
Yes, Melvin McLemore.
Mr. McLemore, you mind stepping up to the microphone here?
Sounds like I'm first up, huh?
Yes, sir. First on the list.
Appreciate that. Yes, good morning, all. My name is Melvin McLemore, and I'm here on behalf of the New Cut Road subdivision. I happen to be the McLemore family that's east of the property that's up for the subdivision. And, of course, the Masseys and the McLemores have had that joint property line for the last 80-plus years. And I know part of the family should be here that's looking to divide that. I don't have any issue with that property. I have discussed with some folks that my concern is that as the approval of that particular property subdivision, that our property, McLemore's property, which sits to the east, there's no implications for new covenants that could impact our property, buildings that sits in that vicinity. And I have discussed that, but I wanted to make it a matter of record that we want to make sure we're not impacted by new covenants. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLemore. I think Mark has spoke with you in that.
Yes, I did speak with you, and just like you said, for matter of public record, your property is not a part of the subdivision. You're just adjacent, right. And therefore, any covenants and restrictions placed on that subdivision are not will not be placed on you being an adjacent property owner.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. McLemore.
I will make a note. Mr. McLemore, his father, Grady McLemore, right? Was a county commissioner, and the property that you're concerned about, that the shed, that was the old tool shed, old District 4 tool shed.
Sheriff's Rodeo. That's
yep.
Right.
Yep.
It'd be difficult to move that. If
yeah.
there was any impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLemore. Do we have any more, Kay?
Larry Stovall.
Mr. Stovall, if you don't mind, step up here to the microphone, please.
The reason I'm here today, I'm a member of the Limestone Burial Detail. We do a free service to all the vets that die in the county, and I just wanted to put before the county commission, maybe we could get some money in the future from you all.
All right.
That's my intent here today.
All right. Okay. Thank you. And it'll be, like I said, next year, we'll do budget appropriations again next year, so it'll be you have to come in front of the next year when we do that, but we'll send out.
When do I need to do that?
We'll make a note of it, and they'll send out letters.
Send out a letter to me?
Yes, we'll do all that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more, Kay?
Paul Matthews.
Mr. Matthews?
Good morning. I'm here about the Chapel Hill Phase 1 development on Yarborough Road. And I am a neighbor lying east of Yarborough Road. And our adjacent neighbor, Dr. Andrew Jeffries, and his wife, Catherine Murdoch, could not be here today. She called me, and she had injured her ankle and was unable to drive, but she said, would you speak for me? We had spoken. So we're concerned, having looked at the plat, we're concerned for three things: erosion control during and especially after construction, and that includes stormwater runoff. And we do not see any location for a retention pond or an impoundment that would capture stormwater runoff. We are very concerned about additional development. This is Phase 1, and what is going to be behind Phase 1, and where is that water going to go? Because the natural lay of the land is that there's approximately 18 to 20 acres that does drain down to a culvert running under a driveway on the west side, and then actually flows down a creek channel that separates the Jeffries property from our property. And we're concerned that we will have erosion from that if the water accumulating on impervious surfaces just drains off more rapidly at a faster pace. And so how is that going to be remedied? Secondly, we're concerned about safety. In the short time we've lived there, in fact, in the last 4 years, we've lived there in 6, we've seen 4 animals die on that road in about the same place. 2 were our pets, 2 were just larger wildlife. 1 was a deer, and they were all on the same side of the road, all on the south side of here across from our driveway. And we think that that is because it's limited visibility. In this section along here, if you can see this, that is the lowest area along Yarborough Road for about 3 miles. The road separates 251, Highway 251 from Black Road, and it's a high-speed road. People drive in excess of the speed limit, and it's very little reaction time coming headed north, and you come over that little bit of a rise, it drops down, and that's where our driveway is, so we're very careful when we pull out. And, we always give the last look. We're always looking south when we pull out because that is if we're going to get hit, that's where we're going to get hit from. And we're very concerned that there are some lots there across from our driveway that are going to be in the same predicament we are in. In fact, it might be worse. It would have to be studied out. So we're worried about safety there. And it does look like there is a connector street that's going to go in that might serve as a phase 2 or a phase 3. My question is, why not, instead of putting 13 or 14 driveways onto Yarborough Road there, why not turn it around and put a street behind those lots and have one street, a collector street, coming out onto Yarborough Road where it's further from the visibility issues? And I think that needs to be studied. Third, we're concerned about property values. The Jeffries have a farm, we have a farm, and we're faced with looking at 14 homes going in, very close, 60 feet apart. We're just concerned about what is going to be done in the community to preserve the rural scene that's there now as the area does develop. Is enough going to be done to preserve and enhance the quality that's there and to protect property values? I'd like to hear about that today, too. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All of the questions you've asked would need to be addressed through our engineer, and he probably, you want to wait and address him, talk with him after the commission meeting, or?
I mean, we can, if we wait, then I guess I'd have to ask that you pull that from the meeting. Because this is the first time I've heard these questions. So I'm not necessarily prepared, so we can discuss it after the meeting, but I mean, it's up for approval today, so we'd have to pull that and maybe put it on the next meeting.
Yeah. Interestingly, sir, we actually received our letter late last week. We were not notified by the U.S. Postal Service. Certified mail, we did not receive our notification. The only reason I knew about that, the only reason I'm here today is I actually get an email every day from the Postal Service saying that I have mail. And when I didn't see it that day or the next day, it says wait 2 days. Then we went looking for it and went back to the Athens Post Office to actually retrieve it.
Okay. So, it's unfortunate about that. Mm-hmm. So, and like I said, which I have no problem discussing it with him after, but part of it is a developer that's developing the property. So to answer part of your question is that a lot of times they develop the existing road frontage first, so that they can then turn around and make that capital investment back into the remaining part of the property.
I understand.
So, so I mean that's what they're doing in this situation. The stormwater, they will be taking care of stormwater on site, and there are easements and such on the plat along the roadway that they should be taking care of that. And then any additional phases, there's a requirement for stormwater. Then as far as property values go, we don't have a requirement for any type of notification of what type home or anything like that is going in. We have no zoning or restrictions as far as that goes. Like I said, I'm not really prepared for an answer to give you an answer because I didn't know questions were coming. So I can discuss it with you after the fact, but we can. The only thing is I mean, the only way that if I can give you an answer before it gets approved if it gets pulled off the meeting today. So-
Well, I would ask that it be delayed until we can get an answer on the, as far as the safety aspect, because that needs to be addressed. But the erosion, you're saying it does provide, I did not see,
Erosion control, that they are required to get ADM erosion
Okay.
control permits. They're required to do that. That's part of our regulation. There may not be a note on the plat because that's not something that stays with it.
Okay,
But those are requirements, and they have to supply those to us
Okay.
before they begin construction.
I understand. Okay, all right.
But I will note this, that they have met all of our subdivision regulations.
They have met
They have
met all of
everything
our
that we require
requirements.
by law when that permit
Okay,
is there.
okay. So on the safety aspect, I guess we're down to that then?
Yeah, and that's something, like I said, this is the first time it's been brought to my attention. We always do ride out there and take a look, but not living in the area. Like you said, you deal with that entrance. We do take a look and try to visually review it. I didn't see anything. If you're traveling the posted speed limit, I didn't see anything that would cause an issue. Like you said, I mean, there are people that are probably traveling at a higher rate of speed. That's just on any county road, any road, period. People do tend to speed. But if you're traveling at the posted speed limit, I didn't see anything that would have caused concern there.
Okay,
So
did you went and actually looked at it? then?
we did.
Okay.
We always ride out and take a look. And like I
Because
said,
the
you're
ground breaks right just south of that, and that's where you can't see until you get about, I don't know what the distance is, but, and then it breaks, then you can see down the road.
So, but that would be the only thing that I could think is if to delay this vote to the next meeting would be the only thing if we need to investigate further, which it meets all of our requirements. So there's nothing there, but I mean he did bring a safety concern up. We can discuss it with the developer and see if there's something we can do differently. That's where we are. So I guess I would suggest that that you give me 2 more weeks and let me discuss this with the developer. Go ahead and pull it from the agenda.
I have a question. Do you have a required visibility of a driveway?
There are required visibilities. There's what's called, and the MUTCD has what's called a site distance triangle, and there are some distances, and that's what I'll investigate over the next couple of weeks, is
Okay.
have them mark where those driveways would be, so that I can verify that they meet that site distance
Okay.
visibility.
Well, I would appreciate that. I hate to see you delay it, but, I mean, if that wasn't done, I would encourage you to look at the southernmost 1 or 2 driveways.
Okay.
on that.
Well, I'll work with the developer on that, and so if we can if when we get to that point, if y'all would just table just that one till the next meeting.
Daryl's in your district, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're fine with that?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. All right. Kay, do we have any more? All right. Kay, would you please call roll?
Commissioner Sammet?
Here.
Commissioner Turner?
Here.
Commissioner Black?
Here.
Commissioner Harrison?
Mr. Black, would you lead us in our pledge, please? I will. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, first thing on the agenda here, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes for September the 3rd of 2019. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll
Motion
second
by
it.
Commissioner Black, second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next on the agenda, I'll ask for a motion to approve claims in the amount of $1,348,295.43. Do I have such a motion?
Make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Sammet, second.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Harrison. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Commissioner Turner? Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Do we have any conflicts of interest with anything coming in front of the commission today? All right, with everybody's silence, I'll take that as a no. Next on the agenda, on the resolution orders, I'll ask for a motion to approve resolution to change work session schedule from Wednesday, October the 2nd to Tuesday, October the 1st. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Turner. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next on here, under contracts, agreements, and grants, I'll ask for a motion to approve grant agreement with North Central Alabama Highway Safety Office for overtime safety enforcement October the 1st through September the 30th of 2020. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Turner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next on here, the agenda, I'll ask for a motion to approve Alabama Department of Youth Services long-term detention subsidy contract to provide one detention bed for use at the juvenile court at the Tennessee Valley Juvenile Detention Facility beginning October the 1st of 2019 through September the 30th of 2020 without cost to the county. Do I have such a motion?
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison, second by Commissioner Black. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Third on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve a resolution to equalize road funding and bridge funding amounts among districts based on road miles. Do I have such a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to enter a motion to postpone the next three resolutions. They're all kind of tied together. Several reasons. You had mentioned that we need to look at other counties like Morgan County that operate similar to us. Also, Commissioner Black was not at the work session and we're not allowed to deliberate one-on-one even 8 days before the commission meeting that we take action. So I would like for him to be able to address questions at a work session. So I would make a motion to postpone these three resolutions.
All right. I have a motion by Commissioner Harrison to postpone these two resolutions.
All three.
All three of them. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Black. Any discussion? We can't discuss. All right. For that, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
All right, motion carries unanimously to table all three. All right, next on the agenda, I'll ask for a motion under budget revisions to approve to transfer $210,000 from the general fund to put $52,500 in each four districts to help with road funding for the finish up this year. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Black. Any discussion? With no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We have no emergency purchases, no board appointments. Under award of bids, I'll ask for a motion to award the two bids listed below. The first one will be to NAFCO for sheriff dispatch and jail uniforms for the sheriff's office, and the second one will be with W.H. Thomas for gas and diesel, October the 6th through January the 5th, with a 30% over margin rack. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Black, second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, next on the agenda, under personnel action, I'll ask for a motion to approve to hire Dustin Boutram as a corrections officer pending a drug screening. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black, second by Commissioner Turner. Any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Second on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve staffing plan effective October the 1st of 2019 to introduce one deputy and one extradition officer to the staffing plan. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black, second by Commissioner Samet. Any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Third on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve pay scale effective October the 1st of 2019 to reflect a 2% cost of living raise adjustment and to reinstate the merit system. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Samet. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Black. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Salmon.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Fourth on the agenda, I'll ask for a motion to approve family medical leave for Aaron Moran from August 21st, 2019 until September the 9th of 2019. Do I have such a motion?
I make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Turner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Samet. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Fifth on the agenda, I'll ask for a motion to approve family medical leave for Susan Ray beginning November the 15th, 2019 until December the 2nd of 2019. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Turner, second by Commissioner Black. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next on here, I'll ask for a motion to suspend the rules of order to add a personnel matter to the agenda. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Turner. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Sixth on here, I'll ask for a motion to hire Sharon Davis as a full-time van driver at the council on agent pending a drug screening. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Turner. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. At this point, I'll turn the meeting over to Mr. Massey, our county engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 5 subdivisions for your consideration today. 2 of them we've heard about in public comment. Big Creek Farm subdivision, northeast. It's a minor subdivision, preliminary and final, 2 lots in District 4. West side of Tillman Mill Road, approximately a mile south of the intersection with Elk River Mills. Chapel Hill Phase 1, which we heard about in public comment. Minor, preliminary, and final. This is 17 lots along Yarborough Road and then 1 large tract behind. Northwest corner of Yarborough Road and Quarry Road. New Cut Road subdivision. This is a minor, preliminary, and final. 8 lots in District 4, 500 feet west of Highway 99 and New Cut Road. Johnson Road subdivision, this is a replat of 3 existing lots, lots 1, 2, and 3. So it's a minor, preliminary, and final. Consists, like I said, of 3 lots in District 1. 750 feet north of Johnson Road and Lewis Road intersection. And then Browns Crossing Phase 4, this is a major subdivision. This would be for final approval. 69 lots in District 2. This is the end of Norfleet Circle, Eva Circle, and Dyken Drive. It's north of 72.
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, the Chapel Hill is not going to be considered.
Yes, sir.
right?
Well,
They had to come up with-
y'all have to make a motion. I'm presenting them
I'd
for
like to have
your,
it pulled until the engineer can
We'll have to wait until we
investigate
go
it.
to.
so if you,
Okay.
so I guess the question would be, do you want approve all or make a motion to table Chapel Hill and?
Well, the correct way would be for me to ask for a motion, then it get in the discussion part of it. That would be the right way to prove the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then leave the one out. Wouldn't that be
Okay.
right, Mark?
Yeah.
Well, I actually would agree with Mark.
try to keep everything straight, to go ahead and take a separate motion.
Okay.
To, if there is one to be made, which it sounds like there will be, to remove that from today's agenda, and then, as Mark indicated, he'd follow up on that and then bring that back before the commission. And then with that one removed, if it's just the one or as it may be, then proceed with the motion on approving what remains.
Okay. So you made a motion. to
I make a
remove-
motion
I'll
to
second.
All right.
table it.
So let the record be known that Darrell made the motion to Chapel Hill and seconded by Commissioner Harrison. Any discussion? Well, they can't discuss that. Do have a vote? Call for the vote on that.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And then next on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve the other 4 subdivision that was presented by Mr. Massey. Do I have such a motion?
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Turner, second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion with that? With no discussion with that, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
All right, motion carries unanimously. Under other business, on the next page, I'll ask for a motion to approve fiscal year 2019 and 2020 budget. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion?
I will say, it's like in any budget that has to be approved, there is, I mean, every one of us would have something in that budget that we would not like to be in there, but we have to pass a budget. We come to an agreement on compromise of what gets in there and what doesn't. But I'd like to know that I looked at different ways that different counties do their budgets, and ours is not perfect, but I would like for us to look at, before next year's budgets, maybe some different tweaks to where we can kind of voice publicly our support for something or not support of something. So, but anyway, that's all my comments.
Thank you for your comment. Do you have any more discussion? No more discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Second on here, I'll ask for a motion to reset the Limestone County Farmers Market 2019 schedule to open on Saturdays through the closes through November. Do I have such a motion?
I make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Turner. Do I have
I'll
a second?
second
Second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion? With no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, at this point, on the scheduled public hearing, I'll ask for a motion to open the floor for public hearing to consider vacating a portion of Hampton Lane in District 3. Do I have such a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Turner. Any discussion with this?
We'll be removing this one from the list. I figured so we could discuss it, I need to bring that up. This is, we haven't received the letter from the landowner stating that this is exactly what they wanted. I think there's some discrepancies in exactly what they're going to get and what they weren't going to get. And Mark, you can add.
They made
to
a
that.
verbal request, and we started the process, and they were told that we needed a written letter, and I just haven't received that written letter yet. And there were some questions that came up on Friday, so before we can proceed, we need to get all that taken care of.
All right.
I'd say. I mean, we'll have to, yeah.
Declining, yeah.
Declining, okay. So I'll ask call the vote on declining this here as presented.
Commissioner Black.
Nay.
Commissioner Turner.
Nay.
Commissioner Sammet.
Nay.
Commissioner Harrison.
Nay.
All right, fails to carry. All right, next on here, I'll ask for a motion to open scheduled public hearing to consider vacating a portion of Buzzard Roost Road in District 4. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Black. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote to open it up.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carried. Do we have any public comment dealing with any of that, as far as this point, we go to public comment on it,
Yes.
right?
Michael Harrison.
Mr. Harris, if you don't mind, step up here to the microphone, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Harris.
Being a landowner on Buzzard Roost Road, I'm opposed to it being closed. I have some petitions here I'd like to present. Got over 500 signatures there. People feel the same way I do, I believe, about closing the portion of the road. We'd rather see it maintained as closed. Roads before this that had been closed in District 4 had bridges on them that needed repair and got condemned, and that's how those roads got closed. But we'd just rather see this one maintained than closed. That's basically what all we need to do.
Ben, you
I'd
have-
love for y'all to take a look at those.
Let's hear all the public comments.
All right. Well, we sure will. If you bring everybody a copy of those, you don't want to just look at them individually.
Y'all just take them, look at them, study over them.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harrison.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you for coming today. Do we have any more?
Eric Nikler.
All right.
Eric who?
Nikler.
Niker? All right, good morning, Mr. Nikers.
I'm pretty much, my name's Eric Nykerk. I live on Lake Town Road in the Elkmont-Lester area, not far from Buzzard Roost. And I'd like to back up what this gentleman said there. I didn't even know there was a petition going around, but 500 people, you said, signed that? I mean, that seems pretty obvious. We want to keep the road open. As he said, I've lived out there since 2002, and I've watched the roads that this gentleman was talking about. It was Gander Hollow Road to Goresville Road. It was 1.5 miles. And eventually Shoal Creek Road to Hagen Road that was closed about a year or so after that. We lost all of our public access to Shoal Creek. People used to go back there and kayak and fish and horseback ride along those roads. And also I have a small farm on the other side of there that goes to Bethel, Tennessee, and we lost access during that too. So we have a history of closing these rural dirt roads out there, gravel dirt roads, whatever the proper terminology is for them. And now we're going to lose another one. It's not only just the local access. We're losing access to EMS and fire. If we ever have a major problem back there, there's no way to get through without getting hold of the landowners. You know, overall, it seems like we have a trend that we're losing our rural heritage, we're losing road access, and our taxes are increasing. And I don't think that's very good. And from this gentleman's petition, I think that backs it up. Thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Niker. Do we have any more, Kay?
Danny Lewis.
Mr. Lewis, you don't mind step over here, please, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to support Mr. Johnson's petition to close Buzzard Roost Road. I own property on the east end of Buzzard Roost Road where it joins Shoal Creek Road. I've been there for about 18, 19 years or so, and it's been a constant battle to fight the garbage dump. It's one of the biggest garbage dumps in Limestone County is up Buzzard Roost Road. And I could stand here all day naming bed springs, TVs, bathroom fixtures, truck tires, not to mention environmentally hazardous materials, paint cans, oil cans. And it's obvious the county doesn't have the resources to keep this road clean. And most of it's being dumped off the road onto private property. And I think we have an obligation as a commission to help us protect our private property. So that's my main concern. The other thing is we've had illegal discharge of firearms up and down that road over the years. I can't tell you how many starving animals have been dumped on that road. So it's nothing but a problem is what this road really is, and it goes to nowhere. There's no commercial use, there's no public use, it's just a dumping ground. So I would certainly encourage you to consider Mr. Johnson's petition to close the road. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Do we have any more, Kay?
Gil Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you mind stepping up here, please, sir?
Thank you, Commissioners and Mr. Chairman. My name is Gil Johnson. I brought the petition to close this road. My family's owned property up there since 1818, 200 years. We've had property up there. The very first time I remember anything about Buzzard Roost Road was the night that a man called my daddy and threatened to burn our house down because he'd caught him poaching up there. The very first time I caught somebody dumping trash up there, I was 16 years old, had my life threatened on my own property. The next time I was 17 years old, I caught somebody illegally deer hunting again, threatened to burn the woods down, threatened to my life on my own property. Did anybody have a chance to read my letter to Mr. Massey or the photographs that I submitted?
Yes, sir, I have seen it.
If anybody needs to see them, I've got copies. If anybody wants to see those photographs. If you want a couch or a hot tub or a television, we got plenty. It's been nothing but an open trash dump. For 50 years we've been fighting this. Illegally trash dumping, illegally poaching, stealing timber, driving four-wheelers roughshod all over our property, illegally doing drugs. I appreciate these people that have signed this petition, but the argument is disingenuous. The road goes to nowhere. It literally goes to nowhere. It dead ends in Mr. Lewis's property. There's a farm on the to the right. There's Morgan Ellis's chicken farm and our farm on the left. It doesn't go anywhere. There is zero use for it. There's not an emergency vehicle made that's going to go down that road. You cannot traverse it in a two-wheel drive vehicle. I drove down those roads yesterday. If you're trying to get to nowhere, which is where that road leads, if you want to get from one end of that road to the other, which is nowhere, you can take Gardner Hollow Road, it takes you exactly 5 minutes. You can take Maples Road, it takes you exactly 5 minutes. You can take Gaston Hollow Road, it takes you exactly 4 minutes. If you're going to traverse that road from top to bottom, it takes you 12 minutes. So not only does the road go to nowhere, it takes you 3 times as long to go to nowhere. We've been fighting this battle. My daddy, like I said, my daddy first tried to get that road closed 50 years ago. There is zero legitimate use to the public for that road. It denies nobody access anywhere. There's no access now except to our property. There's no public access to a creek down there right now. The road goes to nowhere. All it is a gateway for nefarious activity on our property, and it's time to put a stop to it. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Do you have any more comments?
Can she speak? Her name wasn't on the list.
Well, theoretically, she's supposed to have been signed in. Yes, ma'am. I mean, that's fine. Any more?
It's public comment.
Public comment, I mean, if you want. Go ahead, ma'am.
Get her name.
Write your name and your address down.
I have no opposition to limiting that if
We'll get it after.
I mean, it's public comment.
They don't have
Yes.
to even sign in really on the
Okay,
public
yeah.
comment.
I thought they had signed it.
First off, the road it's not a through.
Could you state your name?
My name is Keela Smithson, and I live in the West Limestone community. The road is not passable right now. It's been neglected for a great long while. It does connect 2 roads. Minor Hill Salem Road and what is it, Shoal Creek Road, if I'm not mistaken, are the 2 roads. It does not just lead to these folks' private property. And as far as the trash, I live on Smith Hollow Road myself. We do see a lot of trash. We do have a lot of things go on down there that's not quite right. I mean, that's out of our control. It's not for the private citizens to worry about. I mean, that's for the county, I feel like, to tend with. But if the road is more maintained than what it is at this point in time, I think it would detour a lot of the people going down there, dumping their garbage, doing the illegal activity, because there will be, I mean, I'm sure not a lot of traffic going up and down that road, but it will be more, and they're going to be scared they're going to get caught. I mean, we have to deal with it a little where we live, and yes, it is a nuisance, and no one likes it. It aggravates the far out of me. I can't stand it when someone cleans out their garage and dumps it on my road. But in our society, it happens, but I still don't think it's any reason to close down a public road that taxpayers have paid for, in my opinion, only. Thank you, and I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else in the audience? Give anybody else have opportunity to want to speak? No more opportunity. Ben, you want to address this road?
No, here's what will happen right now. We're not taking action, just like on his road. We're not taking action on this in this meeting here. We have 100 days from this public hearing to take action on that. If we fail to act on that or put it on the agenda, that in essence is a denial of the petition, then at that point, if that happens, that they can file suit in civil court or appeal the denial in civil court. The same thing if we do put it on the agenda and we deny his petition, he can appeal. Or if we approve his petition, anyone can appeal that decision. I think it's fair to the people to know what your options are, okay? I will say this, he has, just like you that opposed the petition, he has the right to redress of grievance, okay, to bring it before us. He has, in my opinion, a legitimate grievance, okay? The road has not been, like for 50 years, has not really been maintained. It is a road, it's a farm, essentially a farm access road. It's not really been maintained. The road is, there's no ditches, the road is the ditch. There's not been a lot of resources put into that road. I think I once or twice graded the hill, which is the most, it's the hardest, it's the main obstacle to navigating that road. It's not being used as a through road right now, okay? It's been accessed by ATVs, four-wheelers, four-wheel drive vehicles and that. And the only, every piece of property along the portion that's being closed is represented by the gentleman this morning, okay? And so, and that was the requirement. To give you a little bit of the history, I don't know, Mr. Huey, 3 or 4 years ago, put up a gate at the road. Well, he can't do that unless they go through a process like this. And I said, I went to him, I said, you can't, same as Sugar Creek. I said, you can't block a county public road. You can't do that. So we took it up. And so I told him there is a legal process that you have to go, this process right here, where you have to have a public hearing where both sides can be heard, okay? But if you were in his position, they do have a legitimate right. We cannot police it, okay? We have not been unable to get these dumpers and bring them to justice. I would like to do that. I think on a number of our roads, we would like to do that. So I just wanted to let y'all know this is the process that we go through to close the road. We have to hear his petition, okay? We have to allow you to voice your petition. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give the opportunity. We're not going to take action this morning, but I'm going to let anyone come to me personally with any other arguments or any arguments, but I would like to hear some more arguments just to hear everybody out, okay? So I just want to clear everybody. Council, was I accurate? Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
All right.
All righty. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming for the public comment and for the public hearing. At this point, we'll turn over the report of officers. Commissioner Samet.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to mention that Thursday evening I had a census person come. I think they hire them part-time to go door to door, but the wheels are starting to roll on the census counts. And all the gentleman asked was address and occupancy of the home, which was mine. And just look out for these folks and please cooperate with them. It won't take but just a second, and they'll get everything. They're trying to get everything accurate where they can get you your census in the mail, and maybe we can get a good count. And hopefully, I know it'll affect us. One way or the other, it's going to affect us. But anyway, just look out for them and expect it. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Samet. Commissioner Turner?
Yeah, I can second what Daryl's saying. I've seen them in District 2. They got a sign on the truck, tells who they are and everything, so they are out there. East Limestone Road project, been a pain in everybody's neck for a while. They're starting to put asphalt down today, so I don't know how many days that'll take. Hopefully they'll get it knocked out this week. And then the Newby Road project will start in the morning. So there'll be 2 projects going on in the East Limestone area. So if you're traveling on East Limestone Road, be prepared for a delay. If you're traveling on Newby Road, you'll probably be delayed there too. So if you can avoid those roads, it'll be better for the workers and you.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner. Commissioner Black?
I just want to let everybody know that we're just now rolled around to start our second round of cutting in District 3. I think I had on my calendar, we had 26 days during the cutting season that I would have loved to have had tractors on the side of the road, but we couldn't do it either to equipment failure or to the rain. And now we're talking about no rain, and we had a whole bunch of rain at the beginning of the summer. So we've just now started going back around. We're going to cut the main roads first, and then we'll do the secondary roads. If any of the people in the district have safety concerns, or if a road it looks like you can't see to get around, see a stop sign or see beyond the stop sign, call us and we'll come out immediately and take care of that safety issue. We'll drop everything and do that. So thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Black. Commissioner Harrison?
I want to echo what Commissioner Samet said about the census. It's very important that you get that information. It not only affects our representation in Congress, it'll affect the apportionment of gas tax. So that's important, and we need to capture all that growth that has occurred since the last census, get an accurate count, and that I know we'll get an increase in the amount of gas tax, but we want to make it accurate. So please respond to those. As we speak, they're down there on Linceville Road. We finished up the strip patching with the milling machine last Friday. This morning, we're down there doing what's called a scrub seal. That scrub seal is essentially those areas where we did not patch, where there's greater than 1/8 inch cracks in the road. That scrub seal fills those cracks. After putting that much investment and time strip patching and milling out, we can't let that road go through another winter without the rest of the road being sealed. So, and then at the end, we're going to probably spend 2 days, Mark. We probably get that done in about 2 days if everything goes all right. And that we're doing the first ever scrub seal on a county road in Limestone County on that road. We're got a lot of extra personnel down there watching it and trying to make sure we get everything right. But that's exciting. It's a different method. It's a different, more expensive type emulsion. I think it's like $3 a gallon. But it's more expensive, but it's got properties that will get in those cracks and give you better rock retention. And so, and the rock that we're using is the smallest rock that we use outside the number 10 sand. So it should give you a pretty smooth ride. And then on Friday, we're coming back on the top of that and putting a fog seal on top. And then we'll put striping and reflectors on Linceville Road. So that's exciting. To get that road done in that shorter period of time couldn't have been done without that milling machine that we purchased. And I was very excited about that. We're taking and relocating to Lydia Quarry next. We're going to be milling out and filling portions of Lydia Quarry Road. We're not going to scrub seal it, but we're going to put a rejuvenating fog seal on top of it after we get through patching that. And then we're going to go to Persimmon Tree Road and try to get, I've got 2 weeks and a day, I got 11 more days. We're going to try to get as much as Persimmon Tree Road done. And then we're also going to do some more fog sealing on a number of roads, what we can get done in that time period. Some of the fog seal could potentially be put past October. It only takes one guy to do that with our crew as traffic control. But maybe we can work some more roads into fog seal. So that's where we are. I'm up to this point, I am exceedingly happy with what we've got accomplished in this paving season. We've gotten more. I think every commissioner here and we've got more done this year than we've got two or 3 years in the past. So it's really exciting. Thank you all for coming too on the public comments.
Thank you, Commissioner Harrison. First of all, I just want to thank everybody for coming and your public comments. You know, you're welcome to come anytime. We love to hear people come here, you know, the stories and stuff. So anyways, and I want to recap what they've all said about the census. You know, the census is vitally important to Limestone County, especially at the rate we're growing. You know, they just count every 10 years, so if we don't get a good accurate count, it's going to really affect us for the next 10 years. So, and with all that being said, I want to thank everybody in the whole county, you know, for making it through this budget year. You know, we finished this budget up good. We've done well. At the end of this year, we had $210,000 we were able to put into on the roads. You know, roads are a big issue of ours. We have a lot of other issues too. So, I just wanted to recap. I want to thank everybody for all departments and all for working us through it this year. And at this point, I'll ask for a motion to enter into executive session. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Harris. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, discuss it. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Samet.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Motion carries unanimously. The commission will take up no action after we leave here today through executive session. Personnel issue. Thank everybody for coming today.